Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Monday, June 4th. We just have 4 games tonight, so short slate. We're going to have a quick video for today. Got a doubleheader. The Yankees play Detroit. They play at 1 o'clock today, and then they play another game at 7. That game's a part of the main slate, and then you have 3 games all at 10 o'clock. The Angels versus the Royals, Padres versus the Braves, and the Giants play the Diamondbacks, So those are our 4 games for tonight. Short slate for tonight. But we're still going to do everything like normal. Go through pitching, talk about the pitching options, talk about some bats we like, stacks to go to, and BVP plays. So going to be a normal video, just a little bit quicker. But like always, before we do get started, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. Would really appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel, have not clicked that subscribe button yet, make sure you do subscribe down below, so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. But yeah, pitcher today, we just have one option on this 4-game slate. At least on DraftKings, only one option over 10K, and that is Zach Godley. He gets a matchup with the Giants. Then you have Julio Teheran, who is just under 10K. He's 9,800, faces the Padres. Then you got Domingo Germán against the Tigers, Tropiano against the Royals, Richard against the Braves, Holland against the Diamondbacks, Fires against the Yankees, and Danny Duffy down there at 4,700 gets to face the Angels. Just looking at pitchers to pay up for, I do like paying up for Zach Godley on this slate. I think this is a good matchup with the Giants team that does strike out a lot, especially versus right-handed pitching. This is a great ballpark upgrade for Zach Godley. Going to San Francisco, going to AT&T Park, great pitcher's park, probably the best pitcher's park in the majors. I think Godley's just a great option here. He's definitely worth this price tag, I feel like. Like I said, this is a Giants team that strikes out a lot, great pitcher's park. There are some strikeouts in this Giants lineup. If we look at their projected lineup for tomorrow, especially when you get to the bottom of the lineup with Williamson, Gorky Hernandez, the pitcher Holland, even Longoria has an increased K rate versus righties. Pablo Sandoval, not the best hitter. So I like this spot for Zach Godley. I think he has the most upside out of all pitchers going today. Definitely my SP1 on this slate by far. And then SP2, I think there are multiple ways you could go. I think you could play Teheran at 9,800, Germán at 8,700. Tropiano could be a play at 8,300, though I'm not very thrilled about him. Even if you wanted to go down to like Derek Holland, who's dirt cheap, at home, great pitcher's park against a Diamondbacks team that has struggled lately. You even got Danny Duffy down there at 4,700, who could be great value if going up against the Angels. I know not the best matchup there, but Duffy is dirt cheap at 4,700. But the guy that I like is at the top there, Julio Teheran. I think this is a great spot for him versus the Padres. We know this is a Padres team that strikes out a lot. Look at their projected lineup for tomorrow. Just so many strikeouts in this lineup. Not a lot of great hitters either. Hosmer's a decent hitter. Villanueva been good this year versus lefties, but versus righties he's kind of struggled. Just so many hitters in this lineup strike out and are not the best hitters. And this is a good pitcher's park as well for Julio Teheran going to Petco. A decent pitcher's park. So I like Godley and Teheran as my 2 pitchers today. Still leaves you $3,750 if you do want to build around them. If it were to look a little bit cheaper, I think you could definitely go to Danny Duffy down there at the bottom at 4,700. Although Duffy might be risky, we saw in the last outing against the Twins, he was like 4K. I think he was like stone minimum that day. Put up a decent game, definitely hit value. At 4,700, you really don't need much from Duffy to return value. So you could look to him as a value play if you want to go that cheap. Holland, I do like there at 5,600 as well. Even Germán, if you don't want to play Teheran or if you don't want to play Godley, I think Germán versus the Tigers could be an option, 8,700. But those are really the pitchers I'm mostly targeting today. Now talking about some hitters. First base, there's a mid-range play I like here. I love the Yankees on this slate. I think they're the top stack by far. So Greg Bird at 4K is a play that I like here versus Mike Fiers, a pitcher that I don't feel like is very good. Now as I'm recording this video on Sunday night, we do not have any Vegas information on this game. This game is offline. Since it is a doubleheader, there's a chance that this projected lineup for tomorrow night could not be the lineup they use. Maybe they give some guys the night off, especially if they play guys in the early game. But say Bird doesn't play the early game, he plays the night game, then you could definitely look to him at first base at 4K versus Fiers, who, like I said, just not a good pitcher. Love the Yankees here. Love Greg Bird. He's only 4K. Great value versus Mike Fiers if you want to go to him at first base. Then at second base, there's a value play I like here. 3,900, Ian Kinsler. Been hitting the ball really well lately and gets a good matchup here versus Danny Duffy. Kinsler's been good versus lefties this year. Duffy has struggled to righties with power. Kinsler's not a great power hitter, but can definitely hit home runs. He can steal bases as well, definitely has some decent speed. And Kinsler, I feel like, is just a little bit too cheap. Batting leadoff, $3,900 versus Duffy versus the Angels team that has a 5 implied run total. I think Kinsler makes a lot of sense here if you're looking for a cheap value option on the slate, especially at second base. If you want to go cheap there, I like him at $3,900. Then my final play, going to be going to the outfield here, getting some more exposure to the Angels. I like Justin Upton today at $4K versus Duffy. Upton has some decent BVP versus Duffy, so does Mike Trout. Mike Trout's 5 for 12 with a home run versus Duffy, and Upton is 6 for 17 with 2 home runs. Those are really the only BVP plays on the slate with at least a 10 at-bat sample. But yeah, Trout's obviously a great play. I like Upton as well. It's just 4K versus the lefty, a lefty that struggled this year to righties, like I said. Although I think Duffy makes sense as a cheap value option at pitcher just because he's $4,700. You could definitely stack up the Angels here, especially the 1, 2, 3, 4 with Kinsler, Trout, Upton, Pujols. Those are the guys that I really like from the Angels. If you can fit Trout in, I think he's honestly worth that $6K price tag. The dude's just so good. But you got value there with Kinsler, with Upton, Pujols. Decent value plays from the Angels if you want to go to them. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for tonight's 4-game slate. Zach Godley, Julio Teheran, Greg Bird, Ian Kinsler, and Justin Upton. Now if we quickly want to go over stacks and BVP plays on this 4-game slate, my number 1 stack for today is the Yankees by far. We'll definitely have to see what lineup they roll out after a doubleheader. If they decide rest guys, maybe that won't make them my top stack. But if they roll out somewhat of their normal lineup with like Gardner, Judge, standing there, Sanchez, Bird, Gregorius, then that's a lineup I'm definitely going to want to have exposure to. Love the Yankees here versus Fires. Then my next favorite stack is the Angels versus Danny Duffy. I think Duffy's a decent cheap option if you want to go to him because of his price. But I do like the Angels here. Just think they make a lot of sense, especially that top 4. Those are the guys I'm really focused on. Not really going to pick on Godley, obviously. Holland, I think you could take a couple guys from, especially righties. Like if you want to play Ahmed as a dirt cheap shortstop, Goldschmidt, he's started to see his price increase, but you could consider him at $4,800. John Ryan Murphy been hitting the ball really well lately. $3,700 if you want to play him at catcher, I think that makes sense. Maybe even Owings as well. But I'm not really thrilled about the Diamondbacks, especially since this game's being played in AT&T. That ballpark's just so pitcher friendly. Diamondbacks aren't really a team I'm loading up on, but think you can find some one-offs or two if you want to go to them. You could definitely look at some of these righties from the Braves versus Clayton Richard. Richard somehow been getting pretty lucky this year. Not a guy that's really good versus righties. Righties have hit him well throughout the past. I know Richard's had decent starts this year, but I still think some of these righties make sense. Albies, if you can fit him in, I think he's worth the price tag. But I do really like Kinsler as a value play second base. I think Tyler Flowers, great catcher play at $3,800. Camargo, you could consider a third base shortstop, $3,300. I like some value there from the Braves. I like the righties, but not really a team I'm stacking up. The stacks for me are by far the Yankees and the Angels, the 2 teams I'm really loading up on this slate. And then BVP plays, I quickly went over them. Trout is 5 for 12 with the home run versus Duffy. Upton, 6 for 17 with 2 home runs versus Duffy. Those are only the BVP plays with at least a 10 at-bat sample. If we just want to pull up the ones real quickly with just a small sample, that way we can look at a few more. There are a few more plays here with a small sample, like Marte 2 for 8 versus Duffy. Let's see, we got Freddie Freeman who's 4 for 9 versus Clayton Richard. Inciarte 2 for 4 versus Richard. A couple of these guys have done well against Teheran. Jankowski's 2 for 4. Hosmer's 1 for 1. Obviously, these are small sample sizes, but since it's just a 4-game slate, just trying to give you guys a few more plays, even some that don't have a 10 at-bat sample. A couple of these Giants have hit Godley well. Crawford's 2 for 4. Hundley 2 for 3 with a home run. McCutchen 4 for 7. Pence is 4 for 7 with 2 home runs, and Posey is 3 for 5. Now looking at pitchers, there are no pitchers with at least a 60 at-bat sample from both sides that have done well or that have done poorly. So really just BVP plays for today, no PVB since it's a small slate. Don't have enough of a sample. But yeah, guys, I think that's really it for this slate. I think that's really it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Going to be a quick vid since it's 4 games tonight. But hopefully you still found this video informative. Hopefully it did help you. Hopefully you got enough information out of this video that makes you a little bit more prepared for tonight's slate. Before you do get out of here, like always, guys, like I said, really appreciate it if you drop a like on the vid. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. If you have questions, you can always hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. And good luck tonight on this slate. Peace.